They go back since bowl cuts. He's Dave. He's JR. Two grown men who can't get enough of each other. It's Hangin with Homie. Let's start the show.
So, dude, I was all motivated today to go to the gym, have the runner's high, the workout high, come into the podcast hot, and I totally took a nap 20 minutes before we closed because it was dead today. I had 4 customers, and I woke up 15 minutes after I regularly closed because, the doorbell, it rings loud, so I knew I would wake up. I was just, in the lounge, lounging as one does, watching TV, enjoying the sunlight.
Just kind of, you know what?
Let me stretch out here. It's only Tuesday, but I don't know. I guess it feels like a long week already for me.
Yeah, I'm guilty of taking naps before work. So what I'll typically do, this morning, I'll get up at 8. I got to be to my trainer by 9.
Right.
And then I'll come back and I'll eat and I'll kind of just chill and answer some emails. And then I start sinking on the couch a little bit. And it's kind of okay, I got to be on the air at 3. It's 1 o'clock. Okay, if I set an alarm for 2 p.m., I can probably make it on time before my first break.
Just doing that quick math. I got this much time to sleep.
Yep. So then I'll put something on the TV low. I'll take off the glasses. And that's when it's nap time, dude.
Hey, look, as a 38-year-old man, you're on your way here in about a month.
Yeah.
You're actually way better at napping than I am. I refuse to nap, but then I'll get one good nap in a month, which doesn't really count for all the other days I'd like to, but I try to make it work.
Sometimes it's just a quick little reset for the brain. Even if you haven't done too much that day, it's just I know what mental gymnastics I'm about to walk into at work. So it's all right, let me just turn off the brain here for a little bit,
At least you're not doing real gymnastics at our age.
Oh man, no way.
Sounds tough.
Not with my bones and joints. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, we're on the road to recovery. We're not trying to slow that down anymore.
Yeah, I don't want to be on the road to the ER, Golly, man.
You're trying to be on the road to WrestleMania, brother.
I know, dude. I wish. I wanted to tell you about, since it's fresh in my mind and I'm just getting off the air.
Yeah.
And we're recording this a couple of days later than usual. And we'll get into why. But what's fresh on my mind is a bit that I just did.
Okay.
About what mega movie franchise that everybody seems to love. Everybody seems to love.
Right.
But you just don't understand the hype. You just don't get it.
Why is it so crazy? Why is everybody this is the best franchise? Clearly it's not.
Yeah, and this popped into my mind because one of the things I've been doing in my spare time, the very, little spare time that I do have, is I've been trying to watch some of these mega movie franchises that I've never seen before, no matter how old they are. For example, we documented it here on the show this past winter. I watched Harry Potter for the first time, all 8.
Good job.
Never having seen any of them, right? I became a genuine fan. I did that with Twilight. I did that with Hunger Games, right? And so far,
3?
the only one that's been a swing and a miss is Lord of the Rings, which I just finished.
Really, a swing and a miss? Well, okay. It's long. All right, so I'll give you that. It's truly an epic to watch. But why didn't it hit for you? Because I'm a sci-fi nerd, and I really, if Lord of the Rings is on, I'm this is about to be 3 hours, but okay, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, let me just invest the next 3 hours and 20 into this.
Push dinner. We can't make it on time.
Sorry.
Twin Towers.
I think it was because the main character, I felt like he kind of just sucked. Frodo Baggins, he's just
hot take, dude.
Let me just come out with it. I thought the main character, Frodo Baggins, kind of sucked. He's a dwarf with hairy feet.
He's a hobbit, dude. He's a hobbit.
Okay, hobbit, right. He's a hobbit with hairy feet.
Yeah.
And I just didn't find him super relatable. And I think unfairly...
The hairy feet, not relatable?
Well, maybe a little bit.
Low blow.
Which brings us to today's sponsor, Harry's Razors. No, I'm kidding. I think I was unfairly judging it against Harry Potter just because they were the same time frame.
That's
Matter
a
of
good
fact,
point.
for a while, I thought the Wizard was the same actor. I'm like, bro, he caked up. Holy cow, right?
He's
Same
doing
role,
every cool role.
two franchises, same character.
You're a wizard,
Obviously,
Harry. I mean, Frodo. I mean,
I learned it wasn't him. But yeah, I was like, gosh, at 8 years old, Harry Potter was fighting Voldemort. And this guy's scared to carry this ring around. He doesn't want to fight anybody. Sam, his buddy, he was the one that always came to his aid. So at least he had
You
some
mean
redeeming qualities. Rudy. Yeah, so he,
right.
the only thing that I really enjoyed about it was in the second film, the epic fight in the end, when they convinced the trees to come out and fight with them.
The Ents.
That was the coolest thing.
Yeah, they're
like
so
that right
slow. Think they're like, little hobbits. Let me think. Like it takes them forever to come around on an idea, but yeah, when they're at Helm's Deep, everybody's in the castle. Like you just see Mordor just slowly moving toward the front of the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, talk about an epic fight scene. I think, not Lord of the Rings. It's that show, the Game of Thrones. They took a lot of good stuff, I think, from those movies. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say try to watch it again because, dude, you're going to need a long break. It's long. Just long.
I own them. I bought all 3 on Blu-ray. I went in blind, bro.
Jeez, you're like, you know what? Screw it. Give me everything.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: is I found all 3 for $10, and I was like, okay,
It's a deal.
If I don't like it, it's just $10, and I'm sure I can at least get $10 worth of entertainment out of it. Now, here's the thing: if I did rewatch it again and I was able to actually understand the story a little bit more, because it seemed like I was kind of thinking, okay, there's going to be, a beginning, a middle, and an end to the first film. You don't really get an end. It just spirals
Not
you
till
into the
the
next
third
one. Right. So it's all just, I don't know, the climax of the film. It was just, I don't know. It didn't feel like it connected for me. But yeah, I like the part about the trees. You mentioned Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Now, not only did I take this bit to the air, I took it to social media as well.
Yeah. All right. Get
And
all the keyboard warriors at it.
Do you want to hear some of the responses
Of course I wanna
that
hear.
we're getting on this?
Yeah.
So first, while I'm pulling these up, what's a super popular mega franchise that everybody loves that you don't necessarily understand why people like it?
I gotta say, this is probably gonna be a cliche, but a lot of people said this one is Twilight.
Yeah, I got that.
I've seen it. I had to watch it because our girl Anna Kendrick from Portland, Maine is in it. So I was
Right?
like, gotta
Anna,
support.
Anna.
But other than Anna Kendrick, I'm just vampires, sparkly vampires, romance, Taylor Lautner. There's a lot of, they got a lot of good things going for it, but didn't hold my attention as a dude, as like
I feel you.
any age dude.
I made myself watch them all,
Wow.
and I kind of enjoyed it. Again, this has been my thing.
This
I'm
is
a
your
glutton
guilty
for
pleasure.
punishment.
Now you have a
Yeah,
guilty pleasure. Okay.
where it's like I want to check out these things that I've never seen before because they were a big part of pop culture. And again, so far, Lord of the Rings has been the only one that's been a miss. One of these comments is going to piss us both off, and I want to get your immediate gut reaction.
All right. Thanks for prepping me. I'm ready.
Michael Ropers down in Texas says Back to the Future.
No, throw him out. You don't get to
Kick
vote.
him out the
you
club,
don't get
bro.
to vote. No.
No.
That might be one of the most perfect trilogies. The movies 1 and 2 are damn near perfect movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
And usually, I don't like sequels. The
Yeah.
thing about sequels is, and Lord of the Rings or Twilight or any of these, whether you like them or not, it's comfortable because the same cast for the most part is there. Generally the same plot. You can kind of expect what's going to happen. That's why people rewatch things. Like even if you're a little depressed or in a funk or something, I'll throw on remember when I lived with you down in Nashville? I watched the whole run of Cheers because I was just in a bad spot, and I was like,
Yeah.
dude, everybody knows your name. I'm gonna watch the episode. It's like formulaic. Like
I watched Cheers because I was in a rough spot, dog.
Cheers,
It's amazing.
Cheers. Anyway,
Yeah, that's so funny.
it's I think it's stuff like that with trilogies, sequels that you come back because you're like, I kind of know what I'm getting into, but
Right.
saying Back to the Future is not great. No, you don't get to vote. You're out.
No, Ropers, you're kicked out the club, bro. And I think the whole debate about sequels and how they typically don't live up to the first one, I think we could debate that, and maybe we'll get into that a little bit later.
We could.
But let's do some more comments here. Kat down in Nashville says, "Don't hate me, but Star Wars."
All right, well, our buddy Joe, Joe hasn't even watched it, so he doesn't even get to vote,
Refuses.
but he still
Refuses.
hates. He's like, oh,
Yeah.
this, I'm like, you got to watch it first. After you watch it, you can hate all you want, but you have to
Right.
watch it.
Dude.
It's good versus evil. How can you not? Dude, I love Star Wars.
Right. Well, here's the thing. I remember years ago, I can't remember what the name of the film was, but they hadn't released a Star Wars film in
And
a
it was
long time.
coming to the theaters.
Coming to the theaters. And I said, Dave, I had never seen any of these. And you said, but what?
Yeah,
We went out to Best Buy.
Yep.
Picked them up on Blu-ray, sat up in the creek with the snacks and the hookah and the pizza, and we watched all of them.
Yep.
And you said, now you can make up your mind. And you
Yeah.
know what I said? I can understand and genuinely appreciate why people love it. I can totally get that. It's just not for me.
That's all I wanted. I'm like, at least you have an educated opinion now.
Right. But I'll tell you, dude, how fun that was watching all of those with you, because they are enjoyable. I'll never go out of my way to see them again.
It's stuff like that where it was probably more enjoyable for you because I was really into it, and so you're like, I can kind of see it through Dave's lens, like, oh, he likes Yoda, he likes Luke, and like, okay,
Yeah.
that's, the one band, like, if Family Guy's done all these riffs, like cartoons, everybody does like a spin-off Star Wars like reference, and the band that plays in the bar in Tatooine, oh, play that one song every time, like, stuff like that. Like, if you don't watch the movies, how can you get the reference?
I'll tell you, man, I went to Disneyland recently, and again, I don't have an affection for Star Wars, but I did one of their rides there, and it's kind of like, basically, it's just a huge screen, right? And they made me be the pilot.
And you're
So
like,
I'm flying us through this thing, and the whole machine's and like moving around, and I think I got like a 19 grade out of 100. I was a terrible pilot. They should have put me on the gun.
yeah,
what I
dude,
told
let me
them.
gun it, bro.
Let me gun it down. So we got a comment here from Chris Vera, and it says Hunger Games.
Yeah, I was underwhelmed. I'll watch it again because it's on and it's cool. And Jennifer
Yeah.
Lawrence, I mean, it's
Right,
got some
dude, I
stuff
had
going for it.
I had the biggest crush on her.
Didn't write a song
Holy
about her
smokes.
though. Apparently, wasn't that
No.
big.
No, well, because I had never seen the films. I had a crush on her having never seen them.
Now that right there,
That job, boy.
That might be real. I don't know.
Yep. Sarah Holden here in Denver says, I'm going to go with Harry Potter. I'm not in love with it like everybody else seems to be.
That's it. I don't know.
I don't get it.
Harry
It's
Potter's
like,
awesome.
Everybody has their thing, and whatever you like, if you're not hurting or harming anybody, it's cool to me, right? If whatever I love pro wrestling, for crying out loud. That's certainly not for everybody. But I think Harry Potter is some of the finest storytelling that I've ever watched, to be fair.
Well, and it's because there's so many great books. And if you've been to Universal, they got some rides. They got a cool setup at Universal. The Harry Potter land, like, that's worth going to check out.
So that leads me to tell you what I'm doing for my 38th.
Come on, man. You're all stepping your game up. Where are you going?
I'm going to Universal, Bob.
Come on. In
Yep.
LA or in Orlando?
L.A.
All right, so I want to set the expectation. The Orlando Harry Potter is way bigger and way cooler.
I believe it.
LA is cool. It's a little tighter because it's up in Universal, and like they're
Yeah.
running out of real estate up there.
No, they are, yeah. But it's a lot closer to Colorado. And it
Yes.
just made sense. So that's going to be the plan for the birthday. And
Dude.
you better believe I'm going into the wizarding world of Harry Potter 100%. He's the chosen one.
Dude, you have to. I'll say you can try the butterbeer or not. It's too sweet for me. It's like a soda. Sweet.
Sorry. Reflex.
But if it's a hot day, I don't know. Wasn't for me. I'm more of a regular beer drinker, so maybe that's why I didn't like it.
Yeah. Or let's see. I'll just read one more here and we'll move on. Derek from the Colorado Media School says, I'm with you, JR, Lord of the Rings. So
it's long.
There's that.
I'll give you that it's not that the series is long, it's like each movie is really long. And I think for me as a kid, it was one of the stories that like my mom would read to me was like the Hobbit, Lord of the Rings.
Really?
Like, so I knew this story, like, and I had read the book. Versus Harry Potter, I think I read the first 2 books and I just abandoned reading them because I was like, "There's movies now, cool." Like I'm done with these books. But having that Lord of the Rings book and The Hobbit, I knew this story already, so I was excited to see it on screen.
I'll tell you what, what lasting impressions I have, because this is fresh in my mind. I just finished all 3. I flew right through them, right?
Right.
One of the things that I'll take with me is, gosh, I'm trying to recall his name. I think it starts with an S, but he's just that creepy little creature.
Gollum.
Got Gollum. Yeah.
Precious.
Yeah, and he's following them around, and he's like
Smeagol. That's why.
Smeagol. Yes,
is his real name, but he turned into the Gollum monster because he's obsessed with the
Right.
ring. That's why Frodo
Yeah.
doesn't want to put it on because he'll turn into that.
right. And it does, his character does make you understand how much of a burden it is to carry that ring.
Yeah.
But he was one of the characters that really stood out to me. Also, Orlando Bloom, talk about being a part of 2 major franchises. Holy smokes, man.
Yeah.
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 So that was kind of cool.
Box office check casher,
Yeah.
dude. CTC Orlando Bloom.
Yeah, CTC,
TC.
y'all. Yeah, basically. And who else was like a redeeming character? Gandalf the White or the Gray, whatever.
Gandalf.
He was kind of cool. Aragon, he was a badass.
Yep.
But yeah, it's I can definitely, just like Star Wars, appreciate why people like it. I think I was going in expecting every movie to have its own ending. And
But-
not to just be one continuous 3-film story. I didn't know that's what it was.
Yeah.
So maybe, my impression was kind of hampered by the expectations I had.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe in 5 years you're like, you know what? That Star Wars, that's all right.
You know what? That job boy's all right, boy.
Yeah. It is interesting to hear people's opinions on trilogies, sequels, franchises, because ultimately movies are for the people. That's what they're made for all of us to watch and enjoy. I think I don't know if you've seen it, but I would recommend the Godfather series.
Never seen him, dude.
All right, Godfather, probably my top movie all time of any movie.
What, really?
Any movie, it's Godfather. So after Godfather 1, I'm not the biggest fan of the other 2, but Godfather on its own is fantastic.
I'm going to have to see it. It's definitely on the list of things that I want to check out.
Young Al Pacino, Marlon Brando.
Man.
The cast is incredible.
Yeah. I think once I give those films a watch, I'll definitely watch the TV show The Sopranos. I got that on the drive waiting ready
You're
to go.
gonna, because I know that you love The Shield and then I think you watched Breaking Bad, right?
Oh, dude. Brilliant. Slow burn.
Yeah. If you like The Shield, Sopranos is like early 2000s New Jersey and elements of The Shield. So I think you'll like it a lot.
I think I will too, because anytime I've heard any of the cast of The Shield, do any press or anything, it's always homage to Sopranos. That was the thing that really kicked off that whole golden era of TV with all those shows.
Yeah.
I wanted to jump into one of the points you brought up about sequels not living up to the original. And I think there's quite a few like exceptions to that rule. And I'm going to fire off a few to you.
All right. Hit me.
And I want you to tell me if you agree. And I want our listeners at home to let us know in the comments if they agree or disagree. As much as I think Back to the Future is the perfect film, I think Part 2 is better.
I think that's the one exception to the rule because
Really?
you get elements of the first film. So it's kind of cheating. But
Exactly.
But it because of how it's set up, it's not cheating because you have to go back to that, back forward, whatever direction you're going to that time.
Yeah, it's like basically my reasoning is you're getting the first film all over again, plus all of the elements of the second. You know, it's like you're getting everything you liked in the first one, and you're getting that again with new things added on.
Well, and if you think about it, after you've seen the second one, you have to consider the fact that if you were now watching the first one, isn't the second one going on during the first one?
Yeah.
All in the background.
Yep.
It's time if time isn't linear, which I don't think it is, then I mean the way they shoot it is brilliant.
It truly is.
Brilliant.
It truly is, dude. It's just, again, I'll watch those films until the end of time. Like I will always have them in whatever new format comes out: VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, 4K Ultra D,
Betamax.
8K Ultra
Bring it back.
H. Bring it back, bro.
Bring
We're
it
in.
back.
The second one I'm gonna say is I feel, and again, tell me what side of the fence you're on. Terminator 2 is better than its original.
It's another good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they were
it?
they're working out the kinks in the first one. Plus, in the second one, Arnold is the good Terminator.
He's the baby face, right?
And you're
That's
like,
what we want.
He turned baby face. You're like, and he does, he's going down in the lava. Thumbs
man.
up. Like, what a great way to end a film.
Yeah, I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle. Bro, I remember as a kid, after Terminator 2 came out, I was able to, for my birthday or Christmas or something, get my hands on some of the action figures that were coming out at that time. And the coolest one that I'll never forget, and I don't know why it made such an impression on me, it was Arnold, T-800, with half of his face ripped off, and it was like skull.
Yes.
The metal skeleton, the exoskeleton. Coolest figure I've ever seen in my life. It was everything 90s that I loved right there.
It had the red laser eye. Like,
oh, yeah.
It was like the cover of the film. It resonated. And then there was the T-1000 toy that just had like the spike metal arm.
Yeah, the blades.
Dude, that was scary. Think about how good that CGI and the effects work was for that year. It came out in 92. Then they're doing that work in 90 and 91. It's like the same thing with Toy Story. Toy Story was developed like in 92, 93. So for it to come out in 95, they were doing all that animation before 90, like years before.
Right. And we have to talk about probably the most incredible scene in the movie, at least visually. And there's a YouTube channel that I follow called the Corridor Crew. I don't know if you've ever watched those guys.
I haven't.
You would love them. Anytime I watch them, I'm like, Dave would get a kick out of this. They're basically like visual effects guys that work within the industry. And they kind of sit and watch different special effects shots, and they'll try to like recreate them sometimes, And there was an episode I watched of them where they tried to recreate the scene where the T-1000 walks through the bars of the jail.
Yeah.
And remember, this was being made in the very, very early 90s. So for them to be able to pull off that shot with technology that they had to build at the time, they actually talked to like the visual effects supervisor of the film.
Wow.
And he talked you through, we had to build this, we had to code this, we had to make this from scratch to be able to pull off this shot. And
there's no plugins. There's no stuff that exists that you can say, make a liquid go. Yeah, make a liquid go through some metal bars.
Yeah, so
there's
it was pretty
Cinema
cool
4D.
watching them, like recreate that shot. And of course, the original all the way back then, it just still looked better,
Yeah, plus that chase scene is so great through the little corridor. Like, and there's a lot of those aqueducts in California. So you can just imagine, like, when I lived in LA, I'd drive by, I'd always think, and I've driven by the one where they shoot it a bunch of times. I know where it is. And you're like, dude, how did they block that off? Get a truck under there? Like, I know some of it was miniatures, but I was just gonna say, still driving through stuff like it. That was cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. I never looked at movies and films with a critical eye before until, you really, I think you were in college for film, and I never understood any of it or when or why, and now I'll be sitting there watching films with people, and I'm like, oh my, what an amazing shot that is. Yeah. And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh man, that's a frame within a oh my God. What? You know what I mean? There's like all this stuff.
It's a different appreciation.
Yeah. You don't understand, like, this guy's lit real dark because, you're going to find out later he's the bad guy. And it's like, how do you see this stuff? And I think it's all these subliminal visual cues and clues that I pick up because of all the different things that I've learned from you.
Dude, I love passing that stuff on. It's like Die Hard. When they show Alan Rickman's character, it's always a canted shot. So he's always tilted. Always. Confession right now? So, like, think about it. Like, every time you look at him in that movie Die Hard, the camera angle is like this. So when you see him as the audience, you're like, it's like off. And then when you realize he's the bad, exactly, you're like, oh, he's the bad guy. So they're always showing him like that.
I'll tell you, I've never watched any of those movies.
Die Hard?
Never, dude, right, never.
You'll love that one. Me and Ryan on Christmas, we try to watch all the Die Hards. That's our Christmas. Because it's a Christmas movie. That's a topic for another day. You'll be able to be in the argument once you've seen Die Hard, and you'll either be like, it is or it isn't. But hey, look, it's on Christmas. They're at a Christmas party. There's Santa hats. There's a lot. Okay, it's not Elf. All right, it's not a Christmas story, but it is a story about Christmas that happens on Christmas. Yeah, dude, we could do a whole separate show on like films.
Yeah, it's just so cool, dude. I think. I don't know. I could try to come up with more, but I'll just tell you right now, as I live and breathe here today, Space Jam 2 is far superior than Michael Jordan's.
I quit the show. Them's fighting words. You can't say that. You don't say that.
Bro, the plot is so much better. The acting is so... I'm just kidding.
Guys, everything you've just been told was a lie.
It was all just fabricated nonsense.
I've seen it. The only thing I could say for it is, I guess if I was a kid growing up now and I hadn't grown up watching Jordan, I get why you would like it. But, dude, the one before was just...
It's perfect.
Perfect crossover... Truly bringing in hand-drawn animation. It's Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny. It's like arguably the two most popular icons at the time in a movie. Oh, yeah. And you get Newman from Seinfeld.
Right.
And Bill Murray. I mean, the cameos abound. You get Charles Barkley. You got Muggsy Bogues. I know there's cameos in this other one, but there's that charm is gone. It's like horror films 100%. In the 80s. There was a charm. Like Freddy was the villain, but he'd make you laugh. You're like, why am I laughing at this? What? Like, why is he like a little sly? Like, it wasn't just pure evil. So, and then the same with like this Space Jam. It's a little too slick. Like the shots are a little too good. Everything looks a little too... Yeah. It's too good. I don't like too good. I want a little charm in there.
Yeah, and it was one of those films that was just better left alone, Yeah. And I think that's a whole nother discussion as well, where it's like... So many of these IPs, there's still so much money left in them. And that's why they're like, let's pump out another one. Let's pump out another. And dude, we're about to get a sequel to Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, I'm nervous. 'Cause
you're not kidding.
I mean, of course, Adam Sandler is like the head of this thing, and Christopher McDonald's back as Shooter, I've heard. Rest in peace, Carl Weathers. We're not going to get Chubbs. The only good thing a dark silver lining is like Chubbs dies in the first film, so like he's not a critical aspect. I would have liked to see like the Chubbs ghost come back again. That'd be cool, or like do a flashback or something.
You got to.
Right, but I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, I think Sandler, like as I grow older, I understand his family movies more. Like I can pretty much watch anything he's made, even if I'm not a huge fan of it. Like I think Grown Ups is fun. It's not.
Oh, dude, I love it. It reminds me of us.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
like I'll watch it if it's on in the background. I like stop for a moment. I'll watch it, but Happy Gilmore 2. Man, I don't know. Adam Sandler, I trust you, but I don't know if I want to watch it.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's one of those ones where you're like, look, do we want to see it? Yes, but no at the same exact time. You know what I mean? And I think that was kind of everybody's reaction. And I think I actually covered this on the air as well here in Denver. And the general consensus was kind of, look, we're gonna see it. We're gonna watch it. You know, especially because you just pop it on your Netflix while you're on the couch. But we don't have high expectations.
It's the best place to be. Set the expectations low and be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. Has there been like a recent remake or a rehash or a reboot that you were like, what are you doing? Why did you do this? Leave this alone. Would you guys stop?
Yeah, Roadhouse. Did you see that one?
I didn't watch it yet. I'm a big Conor McGregor fan, but I didn't watch it.
So I think there was some stuff in there that I liked, but it's hard. Like the action scenes were great. Jake Gyllenhaal is ripped. He was great.
Beast.
McGregor's character is like funny, and he's like a good fighter. But the plot, it's one of those films that like they bring up a plot point and they kind of abandon it, and they're like, "You didn't hear that. Just forget about that."
Yeah.
So it kind of just wraps up and ends, and I hate movies like that do that. It's hard to script a film like that. So
yeah.
I think it's one of those that, like, it's entertaining. Is it a movie that I'm going to watch again? Probably not.
Let me ask you like this, and I think this is kind of one of the issues with this kind of stuff. First and foremost, I'm happy for the actors and all that, and especially for the crew to be able to get paid to do a project like this, right?
Yeah.
But I think, okay, put your mind in the eyes of the director for this film. If you had to put your salary on the line based on how many people would come out to see this in theaters, would you still make the film? Or is it, oh, well, I mean, this is like a direct-to-streaming release. I mean, the expectations can't be too high. Let's just pump something out.
Yeah, it's a different metric now because you're, like you said, if it's direct-to-streaming or it's a minimal release, like you're getting paid and there's no pressure of the old system where there was no streaming. The old system kept you honest because you had to bring it, because you had people come, like they were going to line up, and opening night was going to tell you, yo, this is good or this is a stinker. Like, so I think that since the pressure's not there, it's not that people do like less quality work, but I think it's different. You're delivering a different product. It's not on the biggest stage.
Well, here's the thing. It's like a guilty pleasure of mine is Lifetime films because they're just so cheesy and they're so obnoxiously like in your face.
Yeah, they
that I kind of enjoy them.
Yeah,
you know, exactly. Like there's this whole series called The Wrong Insert Blank.
Who pulled you into this?
Want. The girlfriend.
All right. I was like, there's no way you were just one day like, you know what? Let me just flip to Lifetime, see what's popping.
Right. So there's like this whole series called The Wrong, and you can insert the blank. The wrong boyfriend, the wrong gardener,
so
the wrong
ad-libs,
cheerleader.
Ad-libs films. Like, let's do
100%.
this one today.
And the premise is the same every single time.
It's the wrong choice.
The wrong pool boy. Oh my! Who is this? Isn't my pool boy? But he just broke into my house, and now he's trying to kill me. But why?
Yikes. Yeah.
There's the whole thing. And we'd always watch the ones with the relationship drama, and
Naturally.
there's ones where they'll try to do like biopics of like former big stories in the news, like Lorena Bobbitt when she chopped off her man's I choppy your pee.
The real Val
There's a bunch
Venus
of ones
story.
like that, yeah. And they're just so ridiculous, but the ones that got me into it, let me tell you, it was what were they called? I can't remember the name, but it was all just about this one bad doctor.
Oh.
And he had this like split personality disorder, and on screen he would play both of his personalities.
Oh my! How did they pull that off?
I don't know,
Change
man.
the camera angle.
I don't know. It's just
So you were
was
in.
just-
You're like, this thing. I don't know. I can't look away.
yeah, and of course all the silly drama.
But
of
that's
it.
a skill of it, right? Like that's a skill. If
have a
you're
charm
getting
to them.
if you're getting JR to watch your movie, whatever you're doing it on purpose, and he's real,
Yeah.
dude. He's locked in.
I was a member of the Lifetime Movie Club for over a year. I was a subscriber.
I thought I knew everything about you. I thought we didn't keep secrets around here.
I wanna, because we're still talking about movies. At the beginning of this season, we brought up a bunch of potential topics. Excuse me, I've been talking all day.
What's new?
Yeah, and one of those topics was about a movie that we watched at my 7th grade birthday party. You know which one I'm talking about.
7th grade, so we would have been 11, 12?
Let's see. No, I think 12 going on 13, yeah.
So 12.
Oh,
Possibly you were
Golly.
turning 13?
I think so. Something like that.
All right. Let's just say 13.
Okay.
Let's
At
just say this was
13
nowhere near PG-13 at all.
Oh, no. This was NC-17,
But I have
bro.
a great excuse for why we watch this is because the creators of the movie who were in it made a very popular cartoon that we also were watching at a way too young age.
Yes. South Park was just
was
gangbusters at that time.
Had the video game.
Yeah.
So anyway, the guys behind that were in and
They were-
behind this.
Whoa, they were behind something in this movie.
Dave?
Dave, calm down. Sorry. Go
Sorry,
excited.
Go excited. If you know that line, then you know this film.
The movie will stop beating around the bush.
No, it's okay. Keep it up.
The movie is called Orgasmo.
So right off the bat, if you didn't know anything
Oh,
about the
gosh.
movie, like how could a couple of 12, 13-year-olds get their hands on this film and be able to watch it?
I don't know how I convinced my mom or whoever to get this. I think it was kind of like, well, it's South Park. I think was kind of
That
the
was
sell.
the pitch. Yeah. So
Right.
that would have been like a Blockbuster pickup.
Oh yeah, but if you excuse me, if you remember the cover of Orgasmo, it's like this just topless naked blonde.
Yep.
And there's a guy standing behind her named Chota Boy, and then Orgasmo's to her other side with his Orgasmo ray. It's just the most ridiculous premise, and Orgasmo is a Mormon. It's just hilarious film.
Everything about this, if you're a parent, like this is not quite the age that you should be letting your kids watch this. Now,
No.
in our defense,
But the late 90s or the early
it's a
2000s
different
were
time.
100%.
And we grew up a little faster than the regular,
Yeah.
generations. I think it helped us in the long run.
Yeah, dude, we grew up with Sable, Sonny, Degeneration X, Jackie dumping out them chocolate things live
Dude,
on TV.
There was a lot of things happening on like cable TV that
Yeah,
it was too hot for TV, and we would sit there like, did we just see that?
yeah. And I remember this birthday party was in Westbrook. It was on Central Street.
Yeah, I remember.
And the end of the party was we're all going to watch Orgasmo. A bunch of us just boys up in the room watching Orgasmo. And sure, there were like nudie parts and a ton of like sexual innuendos and
just like over our heads. We didn't get all the jokes. We were just like, haha, like penis jokes.
Right.
Ha.
Yeah. And it was like, oh, look, there's boobs,
yeah.
you know? But dude, watching that movie back, it's super funny. And it's just like, yeah. And then of course they would go on to do Basketball, which is a super funny one too, with the same kind of cast.
Yeah, almost like, and their buddy there.
Yeah, he played Chota Boy in Orgasmo.
Yeah.
If you call me 2 or 3 more times, man, I'm out of here.
Yeah, Squeak, you're a little bit.
Oh man,
Squeak,
so funny.
Squeak,
yes, that's
Squint, Palador. It's like he comes up to the plate, dude. They had Bob Costas in that and Tim McCarver. I mean. Incredible. Yeah. So
just a bit outside.
That movie though, at that age, like it was I don't think I realized it, but it was like life changing. And I think it was one of those things that it kind of broke down the wall of us being like, oh, like talking about sex is not such a big deal. Like when you get older, you do it with adults, and I think at that time it was like, haha, girls have cooties, but you're transitioning to like, no, they don't. I'm kind of attracted to girls now.
Yeah.
And then you're
whoa,
like,
look at the fun bags on that hose hound.
Like, I need to learn. Like, what do I do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to not do?
Yeah. But that's
film.
Dave and I watched Orgasmo at 13 years old.
What a B-Day party, dude.
Yeah. Man. Wild times, brother.
So
the 2Ks, man. Late 90s were wild.
The 2Ks. So I had to push this recording session to. I was gonna do it yesterday, but I had to interview somebody for Treasure Games.
Okay, how was that?
That was good. This guy's out in the region, and dude, he talked my ear off for like 30 minutes. This guy Josh, volunteer firefighter, had a great conversation. That was the second interview I did, and then but Sunday was Celtics, was game 2. So like I was like, C's up. And I had to watch. So I was like, listen, bro, I'm not going to be in any kind of focus to do the show. Like before, after, bad timing. So that's why we're doing it Tuesday. Going to crank this edit out tomorrow.
Right.
But Celtics, okay, we're up 2-0.
Let's talk about them.
We're feeling good.
Yeah.
But Porzingis got like hurt a little bit at the end of game 2. So he goes, I will die out there. He's like, I'm coming back for game 3. And he's got this compression sock thing over his calf. Like, it's been in the news today. I've been like focused on it because I'm like, oh, man, we're up 2-0. We're going to Dallas. Like, it's going to be tough to win there. So I'm feeling good, but I'm also like, I'm glad we have this 2-0 lead because we might really need it.
As you're mentioning about this compression sock and all this stuff and it being Boston sports, the first thing that comes into my mind is who was the Boston Red Sox pitcher with the
Kurt Schilling, bloody sock. Kurt Schilling. Right. Yeah, he had his ankle sutured, which is like a very non-invasive. They're like moving tendons around and like cutting and numbing your ankle to get so he could have movement. Crazy thing about that game is you got a guy on the mound. He can't push off very much, and you're not bunting. Why wouldn't you bunt? He can't go get the ball.
Right. No, see, that makes sense.
And the whole game, they didn't bunt, and they got beat.
That's crazy. So what's up with Pingus Zingis and his
Who the heck is Tingus Pingus, dude? Have I sent you that clip yet?
No, but I randomly came across it. I couldn't wait to say it to you.
Tingus Pingus. There's some dudes I saw beginning of the season. They had jerseys with his number, but on the back it says Tingus Pingus.
Amazing.
Because Michael Rappaport posted some clip, and now it's like famous because he was mad at the Knicks. They're like, who is this guy? They drafted him. Who is Tingus Pingus? The Knicks fans always get mad about who they draft. Well, and then everybody's reposting it with his highlights because he comes out hot in game 1, 20 points in 20 minutes. And then he had 12 points in game 2, blocking shots, chase down dunks. Like, dude is all over the place. But he's hurt a little bit. So I think he's going to try to give it a go game 3. I think he should have just come out. He looked gassed. I think he got hurt because he fell awkwardly, and he wasn't conditioned well enough. He was just pushing it a little too far. You could see him falling behind plays and not get. Anyway, you could see it. Like, you'd be watching the game like, nah, that guy's gassed. He needs to take a seat. Right. So as long as we can still have Porzingis out there, effectively out there, not just standing around like a tree, I'm feeling good. And game 2, we shot awful. We couldn't hit a 3 to save our life, and we still won the game.
What does that tell you?
That tells us if we played bad and we can't get beat, like, one of these games, everybody's going to be on fire.
Oh, yeah. And hopefully it's game 3.
Yeah.
Make a statement on the road, right?
If the Celtics go up, some people think the series is over. I don't think so. 2 is not. Nothing's over 2-0.
Right.
But somebody said, oh, well, the Suns went up 2-0 on the Bucks. I said, yeah, but the Bucks had Drew Holiday. And who's got Drew Holiday this time? We do.
Holiday.
Celebrate. Every time he scored. He had like 26, 28 points game 2. Amazing game.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about having them win 4 in a row, but if we win game 3, this thing is over.
Say it with your chest. Make your statement right now.
It's
what
over.
is it?
Game.
It's done?
Dude, it's a 5 games. Celtics in 5.
Okay.
They're gonna the Mavs are gonna get 1 at home. Celtics are gonna win 1 and then come back home and finish it in Boston.
Finish it right
Anything
at the Boston
is
Garden.
possible.
Yeah, man, that's cool.
And if they win, you know your boy's going to the parade.
Oh yeah, how cool would that be?
But
I saw this clip.
Don't want to get ahead of myself.
Right. I mean, we don't want to jinx nothing here.
But I'm manifesting a victory.
Everybody here in Denver was planning the parade for back-to-back championships for the Nuggets, which they were pretty close to.
And Jokic was planning a trip back to his home country to go ride some horses.
Yeah, and he's going to be playing for the Olympic team, whatever one is out there where he's from.
Serbia?
Serbia, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of Joker, I saw Pingus.
Tingus Pingus.
Tingus Pingus.
Pingus is Ingus, dude.
I want that jersey. That's so funny.
I got to make one on NBA site.
Yeah. He made a statement that he was the best white player. How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, look, he's making a strong statement. His confidence is insane.
You need that. You want to see that kind of stuff.
Whether he's accurate statistically is another topic, but I like when players say they're the best.
Yeah, like if you're not in it to be the best, why are you in it?
Yeah, what are you doing with your life? If you're not, what did I say? If you're not doing what you love, why are you living your life?
Yeah, well, I guess I'll just go jump off a bridge, Dave.
I'll just unalive myself. Fine. Yeah, that was a little intense. 21-year-old Dave, 22, going on 23. He was a little intense at times.
If you're not doing what you love, then why are you living your life?
Hey, you know
Times
what?
are tough right now, okay, bro?
All right,
I'm doing what I have to do.
Just getting by.
Right? I'm just trying to get by right now, Dave.
It's good advice, though. You don't take it so literally, but you should be like, all right, am I doing something that I don't love? Like, why am I doing that? Question it.
Yeah. No doubt. I love what I do. Is it taxing sometimes? Sure. Do I get burnt out? Sure. But that could be with anything and everything, you know? And I'll tell you how I know I love it.
Tell me.
Ready? Anytime I take any kind of trip or vacation, you know, wherever it might be, the last couple days of my trip, I'm itching. I'm fiending to get back home so I can get on the air because there is nothing like it. It is the best feeling in the world.
That's all you need. Yeah, that's all you need to know. When you want to get back to your regularly scheduled work, you definitely love it.
Yeah. Well, man, it's been really good catching up with you tonight. I'm trying to think, what do I have coming up here? Do I have anything to plug? No, nothing.
Dude.
Nothing. Got another endorsement coming up with the Colorado Media School. I'll be working with them doing DJ for a day.
Dude, DJ for a day? Sweet.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. We did it last year, and you can just visit... I'll throw it up in my Instagram story.
Visit the website.
Yeah, insert here. studiocontest.com. Basically, you get to enter, and what's cool about it is everybody that enters gets to come in and present live to us at the school.
Man.
And I'm going to be there as a
like
judge.
Shark Tank.
Yeah. And then I get to pick who wins, and then that winner gets to join me for a day and see what the life is like doing major market broadcasting, which I think is kind of cool.
That's legitness.
That's legitness. So
Whoa, that was legitness.
that's what I got coming up. Yeah, man.
I've got just some more hours here in the shop.
Yeah.
What day is it today?
It's a Tuesday,
Tuesday.
11th.
I'm just here all the time, so
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
I'm just here so I don't get fined. Town biz.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is, guys, sometimes you just got to schedule things, fit it in. We fit in the show.
Yeah.
We committed to it, so we have to get it done.
Yeah, it's like I haven't eaten since 9 a.m.
Dude.
So
Fasting.
I'm going to go try to whip up some dinner here, bub.
Dude, cook it up, bro. Well, yeah, dude.
Other than that,
good to catch up. Celtics.
Yeah. Celtics in 5.
Stay on
We're
the
calling it
bandwagon,
right now.
baby. Stay on the bandwagon.
Yeah. And the only thing else I got going on other than that is on Saturday, bub. Your boy's going to the 1940s ball in Boulder.
Dude, what are you going to wear?
Dude, I got my whole outfit already picked out.
All right. We'll reveal. I'm sure we'll see it on the gram.
Yeah, exactly. You'll see it on there. And I really wanted to go as Captain America, but I thought, might get...
Halloween's coming soon.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Yeah, so anyhow, for Dave, my name is JR. Thank you so much for hanging out with us during this nearly 60 minutes of nonsense. And most importantly, remember, it's cool to be you. And, I don't know, follow us and subscribe. Peace.
Peace.